everyone. Welcome to Triple T Thursday. That's tips, tricks, and tutorials. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I missed last week and I apologize for that. I was asked kind of at the 11th hour to help teach a dance class. So I was doing that and but I'm back and I'm here and excited to hang out with y'all. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit. Y'all know how much I've been loving Descript and using Descript for the last year or 2 years, something like that. And I thought today would be a good time to share with you one of the ways that Content Minis is using Descript and how it's helping me in my business. So if that sounds interesting to you, then I hope that you'll stick around and you will chat with me about that. And if you have questions about that, please feel free to chat with me too about that. By the way, how is everyone? How are you? What are you guys up to? Thank you so much for the people that reached out and asked about my puppy as well. Cooper had a bit of a health scare. He had to go to the doggy hospital. In fact, I just got back about 10 minutes ago. I scarfed down like a chicken strip and I've got my tea made here. So what's in your cup, people? And because they wanted to recheck his blood work because he has high blood pressure, he has a heart murmur, he has kidney problems and pancreas type stuff. So we needed to do some follow-up stuff. And so yeah, that's where we're at with that. Okay. Yes. Thank you, Keely. How's it going? Yes. Today is May the 4th. So may the 4th be with you. So I figured I needed to wear something from the Star Wars type universe. So that's what I've got here. So Pixelpia, hello. Josiah, hello. Yes. And let's talk about Content Minis. Y'all know 2 weeks ago, I was day 2 of having a new hire. And being like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. And now I'm kind of like, it's kind of working out. And not only that, y'all, something happened where I said I was going to hire someone new. And then I had talked to a girl and then I thought I was going to job offer her also because I have enough that I thought it would be nice to have some additional help because I've been up sometimes till 2, 3 in the morning doing editing and everything. And I really needed to slow down because I was just feeling burnt out and crabby. And I even had people reaching out to me being like, hey, can we onboard? And I'm like, I have to wait list you. I just can't keep saying yes to people. Right. And I'm actually getting to a point now where I'm like, oh, like I don't have to be the one to do this. What? I can give this to other people. And it's a far cry from where we were 2 weeks ago. But that being said, so I had originally hired a gentleman. I then was going to job offer this female. And then it turns out when I told the gentleman that I was looking for, additional help, he's like, well, what about my brother? And I was like, I don't know. What about your brother? And so now I have the both of them working. And so they're cranking out content. The girl is also putting out content. And so right now, technically, I have 3 different people doing the editing. So I'm able to kind of piece out to other people like, here, you do this project, you do this project. And it's interesting because now I'm starting to get some feedback now from clients as well. And they seem to be satisfied / happy, which makes me happy because, I was definitely feeling afraid like, oh my gosh, what if, people hate it? What if it's just not up to their, their standards and all of it. We're taking it all in stride. We're learning every single day about that. So, and if you have some questions about the whole Content Minis and how it's working, I'm going to share with you as well a few different tools that I'm using that is really making this a lot better for me. One of which is Slack, which I'm getting a couple notifications because another one is they're in different time zones as me. And so right now they're, just starting their day and they're working. And so I'm trying to give them instructions whilst I talk to all of y'all. So there's all of that being said, but I'm using Slack to communicate with them. I'm sometimes doing Zoom and doing screen shares so I can show them things that I'm doing inside of Descript or other things. We're using Google Drive all over the place. Not only we're being added to the client folders. We're having them. I have a generic email that I've set up for our Content Minis team. And so the clients can add us to their folder. And then we have our own folders that we're doing preliminary work on. I check their work. And then once it's good, I scoot it over to the client folder. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I really need to chat with y'all about it because a lot has happened in 2 weeks. A lot has happened, including the fact that because I'm outsourcing, I have realized that it's just not, before I thought I wasn't charging, I was charging too much. And now I'm like, there's no way. I'm not charging enough. So I actually decided, even though begrudgingly, and I didn't really want to, I did raise my prices, $50. So it's a 10% increase, but I don't know, man. We're going to see how that goes. Okay. So we've got a lot. We escalated quickly. I know. Right. And it's not even that it escalated quickly. It just, but now the problem is I actually don't think I have enough work to sustain 3 people full time. So I might just, have the brothers do it. I don't know, unless I onboard some new clients. Right. So, cause right now we actually have, we are almost caught up with work that I was behind on. And so, yeah, so there's that. So let's chat a little bit about all of this. So I'm going to play one song, okay, because there is a message that I need to respond to and I need to type it. And I don't think you guys want to watch me type it. So let me play a song for y'all, okay? Let me find a song. Where's my music? Ba-da-ba-ba-da. Not that music, but an actual. Here we go. I'm going to play you a song. I don't know how long this one is. I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, let me put on my overlay here. Oh, this one might be short. Please forgive me as I am typing and doing all of this, okay? so much for bearing with me. All right, so y'all, I want to get into how we're using Descript. So one of the ways that I was thinking about this, so one of the editors uses CapCut, one of the editors, or both of the other editors use Premiere Pro. Okay, so this is where we're starting from. I am an editor and I use Final Cut Pro. So now we've got CapCut desktop version and 2 Premiere Pros and 1 Final Cut Pro. All right, so we have 3 different programs all being used across these 4 editors. So then would it be crazy to want to throw into the mix? I'm like, hey, you know what we should do? Let's throw in another, which is Descript. Now, one of the reasons why I decided that this was really going to be something that, let me rewind. Okay. So when we were doing this, the normal flow was happening where I would give some direction and say, I am trying to get this out of this video. Go in there and find what nuggets that you can and that you can pull out as like shorts, something like that. Then they would go off and they would try to create something, and then they would upload it to our Google Drive, and then they would send me the link and they would say, hey, can you approve this and take a look at it? And then what I was doing was going second by second through the videos and being like, :00, you have to start with a capital letter because it's the beginning of a sentence, or it's like :15 at the 15-second mark. They say this, not this. And so I was actually typing it out as I'm watching it and being like, correct this. And then they would go back and they would change it, and then they would upload a new version of the Google one, and we would have to increment the titling and be like blank 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 version 2. And then I would look at it again, and then I would see if there were any corrections or misspellings. And I had said before, I'm like, I don't care if you use AI to generate captions, and that's totally fine, but you need to make sure that we go back and we double check them. If it's a model number, does it say the number 2, does it have 2 spelled out? Is it like specifically, is there spacing? Like, you have to be particular and diligent about this, okay? And hey, Zach, great to see you, buddy. Great to see you. Hello. Yeah, actually, I'm going to be bringing up El Jefe's stuff here as an example. So yeah, if you want to stick around and see how I'm doing that, maybe don't show him how easy some of it is in the end once you get it down, because then he won't want to pay us to do it. I don't know. We'll see. But it did take us a long time to get to this system that is making it easier for us to do that. And that's what we're talking about right now. So with this, you guys can see it's very labor intensive, not only on them, but on me. And then they would be like, hey, ma'am, can you check this? And then, I will check it and then get back to them. And then they go back and forth and back and forth. And so some of these were incrementing, like we were at version 5 or 6. And then at the same time, I had people, clients who were like, where's my shit? Why aren't we getting anything? And I would be like, I'm sorry. Like, there's only so much truth that you want to completely put out there. And I probably share too much. Story of my life. But, I would say stuff like, I'm working with editors. We're on different time zones. I've asked for corrections. I've asked for things because I don't want to give it to you like half-assed, right? What have I told y'all? You got to do something. I do it with your full ass. Okay. No half-assed, no quarter asses around here. And so I would be like, I don't want to give you this where like the name of the restaurant is misspelled or the name of the city is misspelled. And one of the things that is happening, and I've told you guys, and I've been very open with this, is that so a lot of the editors that I've hired, they're from like a different country. And so not only are they working different time zones than me, so I have to stay up until sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning or 1:30 in the morning so I can communicate with them sometimes, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. And then English is not their very first language. And so that it would be, it's difficult enough to be like the grammar and punctuation police, but then to do it for someone who it's their second language, you have to, I don't want to like, I'm not trying to make them feel bad because they haven't figured out like, the comma versus, the period versus different things. But I also don't want to give that to my clients, until it's right. And so I've gone back and forth with this like four, five, six versions on some of them. And so then the clients are getting upset, like we want our stuff, and I'm getting frustrated because I want to give them stuff. And, you know, the editors are like, and so I think when you're using Premiere Pro or you're using CapCut, you are probably using, like I said, the generated AI to kind of start, which, you know, same Descript does that too. But the thing is, you really do have to check it, and you really have to finesse it a lot, right? So I'll be listening while editing. Awesome. Love Descript. Just realized I can download my transcript with timestamps. Yes. And I have started making my own vertical videos. Every video I make. That's fantastic. That is awesome. I love that. Okay, so this is kind of setting the stage of where we're at. We've got three different editing programs. We've got 4 different editors, and you know, that's why I would hesitate before, excuse me, to give a project to someone else, because I can't just give them the finished thing, right? You probably want to give them some sort of project that they go in and move around the components, or, you know, that kind of stuff, which is really, really difficult. So I was already using Descript, and now I've kind of like forced their hand a little bit. And at first I felt bad about it, but then I was just like, well, first of all, you're working for me, and this is the program that I want us to use, and there's reasons why. And I think they were already feeling, you know, like whatever we were doing is not the most efficient either. And so I think this is really going to solve some of our problems. And so I'm excited that we're using it this way. And if you guys are using it in different ways as well that you would see a benefit, yeah, please tell me all about it. So I have my own drive. I bought another license to Descript, and I put it under the email for our team email, which they all share. With each license that you purchase, you then get a certain amount of transcribing hours per month that reset. And so so that's what I did. And if I needed to buy another one, then we would get another set of hours that we would just kind of all share in that same bucket. But one of the things that I like about Descript too is once I feed in the file and I make an additional initial adjustments, such as like I want it to be vertical, and I want, you know, this to be my font, and I want you know, all of this specific type stuff. Like I want it to be colored in the background with a certain color, and I want it to be a certain size. Once I do that, then I can create, basically I can take chunks and paragraphs and create new compositions inside of it, and it will still maintain a lot of that same information, which is great, which is what I need. And one of the problems I was running up against was one of my editors. I would be like, I don't like this animation because you're doing them each individually instead of Premiere Pro. And I would say, like, you use the wrong font. This is not their font, which is in their brand kit. And I'd be like, I need you to select the whole layer and, you know, apply a new font. And they, like, I think their head was about to explode. They're like, oh gosh, you don't know how long this is going to take. And I'm like, well, I know that if I do it inside of like Final Cut Pro, I can change it all in one fell swoop. I don't know what's going on in Premiere that maybe you can't, but like, this is not going to work, because if you have a very particular client, which some people are particular, right? You can't just go back and be like, well, it's going to be a lot of work to change those fonts. No, you're just going to have to do it. Curse and cry while you do it, but you're still going to do it. And that's what they're paying you for. So let me show you all. This is how we started thinking about using it. And this is kind of where we're at now. We're getting there, because one of the things that was becoming a bottleneck as well is like I was the only one maybe using Descript. And so I was using it and trying to create these vertical videos that had nothing in it, but maybe they had the captions or something like that. And then I would give it to someone else to add stickers or do these things. But then I was like, wow, you know what I can do is I can share the project file with them. They can come into it and edit, like simultaneously, like 2 of us editing inside of a Google Doc. They can add the stickers, they can make the changes, they can do the stuff inside of here. And that's kind of where we're at right now. And then they can send me a link to the project. I can go in there, I can make corrections to grammar, punctuation, anything like that. And then we just generate the file when it's done, and then we can keep going. So let's show you how I do this here. Let me just do a screen share. Oh gosh, I forgot I had to unplug my Stream Deck, so I don't have my keys here. Hold on, I gotta bring up my scenes to do this for me. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Okay, let me find my scenes here. Oh man. Me and screen share. That sounds promising. That sounds very promising. Okay, sweet. Let's zoom out here. Okay. So This is Descript. I think I've shown it to you guys before. I've shown you how I've used it in a few different ways, but I'm going to show you some stuff in here today, all right? So let me try and get out here as much as I can. So I was wondering how you did Heavy's animated captions, if it's possible in FCP. You know what? I saw your tweet, Zach, about using Captionator. I have recently purchased Captionator, and it is okay. I prefer Descript's animation styles because it does have a little bit more flexibility, because Captionator only has the 3 styles, the karaoke, classic, and the one other, the custom. And so it's not quite as customizable, but it is only $20 as a plugin. So that was pretty nice. It's a little clunky, and I can show you too how I was using it. Because if you're doing single line captions, great. If you're doing stuff though, it's okay. But basically what you do is you go in there, you send it to Captionator, you end up with an XML file that you bring back in. It generates a new event project, and then you have all of your titles. Then you have to select all of your titles, copy and paste them on top of your existing project timeline. Then once inside of there, you can make some adjustments, and then you could keyframe them and animate them if you want them to fly around the screen a little bit differently. But I would say in a pinch, if it's as a simple single line and you just want like that animation in out or something like that, it's good. I did find that the AI using it had problems with a lot of words, and I spent a lot of time correcting the transcript. So take that for what you will. But it was, for a $20 plugin, it checks a lot of the boxes. Sorry for anyone else out there who really doesn't know what we're talking about. It's a plugin that you can use with Final Cut Pro, and there you go. Yeah. All right. We are over here, and what you can do, and it has some cool features. I'm going to try and move this window out of my way here. It has some cool features inside of Descript, and we don't have time really to get into this right now, but if you had like multiple people on a podcast and you've seen those clips where it automatically switches from one person talking to the other, you can actually do multicam inside of Descript, and similar to how you do it inside of like Zoom where it switches to the other person as like the speaker focus, you can have Descript actually do that too, which is kind of neat. Okay. So let's come in here real quick, and we are going to, oh, you know what's so funny? I think actually my editor is in here. My editor is in here. So I can see the little, up here at the top, I can see the Content Minis team icon. Like I think they're working on some stuff. So once you bring in a video file, this is your playback window over here, and this is the transcription that comes out automatically once you bring it in. Every time you have it drag and drop in a new file and you label your speaker, then it's going to subtract from your monthly allotment of minutes. And yeah. So this was originally like an 1.5 hour long live stream. So y'all know Content Minis, we're taking long live streams, or we're taking longer videos and we're sucking out kind of interesting bits. And so that's this example here. So one of the first things that I did just to make it a little bit shorter, I did go into this button here, this little magic button, and I did some stuff where I did shorten word gaps. So if there is a lot of raw footage and there's a lot of space where they're not speaking, and you can see that in the wave lines, then it will kind of go in and chop that up. If you have filler words that you have, if you're on a certain level plan, you have a certain number of filler words. If it's those types of things where it maybe is repetitive and you see, oh, you see the thing moving around. He's doing something in here. He's doing something right now. You can go in there and it will automatically take that out as well. So one of the nice things about this, and I saw that at NAB, Adobe is kind of auditioning, something very similar to a text-based editor, kind of like Descript is. I'll be curious to see how that evolves. We'll see how that goes. So in here, once we have all of this, right? So one of the things that I would then do, and it took it from, let's say, an 1.5 hours to, let's say, 1 hour and 20 minutes, right? all of those types of things that can be very, very helpful to make sure that we're only looking at the stuff that we want to be looking at. Then I visually went in and I edited like a text document. So I went in and I took out things like where they're greeting other people. Maybe they're answering some sort of question that really has nothing to do with the purpose of the video, unless it's, some Q&A type of thing or something like that. Like I just started deleting and hacking away at it. So we started at an hour and 30 minutes in this one. And what we're left with right now is, I don't know if you guys can see that it says currently 28 minutes. And that's because I'm having them as kind of our process. This particular video is talking about earbuds, different earbuds. And excuse me. So as we kind of group together if they're talking about a specific model of earbud, then I'll highlight this particular section. Let's say it's this Jabra or something like that. I would say we would highlight this. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but as I'm highlighting it, it's giving me the option to see the highlighted section down in the video timeline to see what section that it is. It also would give you kind of like a time usually, but I copy this to a new composition and I'm going to show you that. So it starts a new document based on this paragraph. And then I would label this new paragraph, whatever, the Jabra Elite 4 active. Okay. So I would create a new composition there. And then from the main document, I just go ahead and delete. That way we don't come back here. And then we're like, did we do this one already? Did we not? Did we, right? So, and that's how we get from an hour and a half to now 28 minutes. So if we copy it into a new composition, we have all of these projects over here. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit and show you. But these are all different paragraphs that came from this main document. So if we click on this one, so this is the Nura True Pro version 2. Okay, let me come out just a little bit. Now, if you look over on the left-hand side of the document, you see these little thumbnails, and the thumbnails themselves are representing, it's as if you were editing slides in a PowerPoint presentation. So anytime you want something to happen inside of the playback window, it's really like creating a new slide in a presentation and then doing something to that slide is the best way I can explain that. And so every time you see like a little /, that creates a new scene with a little thumbnail. And then once you click on the thumbnail, you can see the little highlighted section that it might be down in the timeline. And you can then make specific things happen just on that scene. So if this scene in particular, and this happened a lot where the headphones were not in the center of the frame, I would go in and I would create a new scene, and I would go in and just in the playback window, I would scoot it so that the headphones were in the center of the screen. And so then when it kind of like comes back out, or, it comes back to his face and it's off center, I would create a new scene and then I would scoot it back over, right? Just so that we can kind of make sure, just like you would in your editing software, in any other editing software made with keyframes or anything like that, we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it with slides is basically the way to think about it. Now, another thing that's kind of cool in here is I could go in here and I could then click on the text. So if I wanted the text for a particular scene to be a different color, if I wanted to, sometimes the headphones are in the middle of the screen and I don't want the text to block it. So I would then go to the specific scene where I want to move it, and I would actually move the text up to a different location on the screen. So that's another way that I'm using these scenes to kind of customize what this is going to look like. Now, if you see this, there's a little animated sticker here, and you'll see it if you play it back. Now, the thing about the script that's really, really cool is that you can go into this top section here, which looks like a little play button, which is the media insertion. And so inside of here, I can do things like I can upload like logos, I can, or photos, I can browse their stock library of images and video as well. So if I wanted to say like iceberg, in Alaska or something like that, I could put that in the videos and I could then use that. I can use any of those clips inside of my my project, and I would just insert it onto a scene. Or I can also do something where if I said something like this, if I highlight a section where you can see it highlights on the timeline down below, and I want the sticker to only happen during that time, I highlight that section and go up to the media section, and then I can add like a GIF, I'm not going to fight with anyone on this. And we can say sticker, And I could say something like, here, like, this girl's very excited about the headphones. And then I can move this around and I can resize her. I can crop her if I need to. I can also move her backwards so that she's hiding behind the text. And so if I go back and I play this section here where you see it.
Technology, the latest chip from Qualcomm.
There you go. There you go. There's the girl. Stuff like that. So if I needed to, also I can move her around, or I can make it go, instead of looping, I can go into like play it only once or play it half speed or whatever I need to do. I can do those kind of customizations. So you can see, let me see here. If I come and show you all these layers, I've got this main text layer, and then every time where there's an overlay, a sticker or something like that, then you can see all of these little stickers that have been added. These little ones, and you can see that they're in the video.
The love that they deserve.
Boom, boom. You can also add sound effects in here. They have a library of sound effects. So if you wanted, some music, if you wanted like a cash register, a balloon popping, anything like that, you can go ahead and find that inside of here. Dr. Eula's in the house. How are you? It's great to see you. We're talking about Descript. You know how much I love Descript, right? And we're talking about how we're using this here. But so we have all of this information. We have the playback window here. And then once we get into the text, let's go ahead and check this out. So if you guys didn't notice, when I'm playing this,
there's no way around that. But NeuroTube Pro from...
So if you see that, hopefully it has animated captions that are happening along with what he's saying, because we know from the transcription, and it's animated with like that blue color back behind it. So the way that I'm doing that is, I'm going to move myself out of the way here. I'm going to move myself to the other side. If I come over here, the text panel, if I select that layer and then I go into any of this information here for the captions, you can see here you can upload fonts, you can change the colors, you can, if it's going to be all background, have a border, all that stuff. And then the stuff that you're kind of usually more apt to seeing, this is that live text, and that is the animating behind the scenes stuff. So if I wanted to, the active word that is actually speaking, I could have it be a different color. So if I wanted to show you just real quick, if it's green, and if I want the future words to be purple. So now we're going to get real crazy.
Ridiculous earbuds, so good. Now, mind you, they're not cheap. They're definitely not cheap. When you're on the cutting edge.
Well, one of the things is I have it in the settings, so it's squished only to a certain amount of width, because I don't want it to interfere with the like, comment, share buttons on the side. So you have to find a section where there's actually multiple words on the screen. So usually with the height and width requirements that I've set it to for the parameters, you usually don't have more than 2 words on screen. So it may not be showing you exactly in full detail, but you can see here. So I've got like green, I've got purple, I've got different options that I can do. I'm going to undo these. I don't want to mess it up. But the cool thing is, once you're here inside of Descript 2, so if they're these properties, right? So I have these at a certain position on the screen and a certain like specific coordinates. I can go in here and I can right click on this and I can hit copy, and then I can go into a different composition, and then I can click on the text and I can hit paste attributes, and that will carry over the live text, the background, the border, the position, everything that this text is doing will be applied to that text. So it's really, really fast once you do it, like a paragraph at a time, and you're just making these adjustments. Then it's really easy to go in, add the stickers, I say that, but it still takes a while. It still takes a while. But I can go in and I can more easily chop down all of this. And then as I scroll through, these are all of the different headphones, let's say, or projects that I've created from this one specific live stream. So the nice thing is, if I needed to come in here now, unlike that other project that was in Premiere Pro, and I say, hey, we don't like this font. We want to use something that's bigger or with like sans serif or something else, I can go ahead and select the text layer, and then in one fell swoop, I can change the entire, font or the size of it or the position of it. And so once they started seeing this, they're like, oh, I don't have to do all this stuff manually. I'm like, nope. And you can copy and paste everything over. Yeah. then all of a sudden it was like, light bulb, maybe this is better. And not only that, you can go from here and under the publish area, then you can actually just share a link. Let me move myself again. I'm just always in the way. I can share a link so that anyone can come in here, and you could actually even send this to a client if you wanted to have them probably take a look at it, because they can't make any changes to it. They could only like leave a comment maybe, and then you would have to change it. But if I give them the link, they can go in and actually edit it. They don't have full control to delete the project, but they can make other edits, and they can export it, and they can, change other stuff, but they can't delete the project. So then I just can share the link with them, and then instead of having them export, upload, me check, then tell them to make corrections, they delete it, go make changes, upload, have it checked. Then they can come in here and say, hey, here's the project file. Come over here and look at it. And then I can also, at a quick glance, I can come in here and be like, okay, is this look like it's spelled correctly? Is there anything that I need to correct in here? And, because you can make corrections. And also, if you're on a specific level or higher, like myself, this is the program that I use that trained my voice. So I could come in here and start typing out a document, basically starting a new composition, use it as an overdub with my voice, let's say, throw in a whole bunch of stock B-roll or something else of me maybe doing something, explaining something, or like a voiceover. I've also done this, like I had told you all, for that Mucinex type of product that I made an Amazon shoppable video for, and I didn't know how to pronounce the drug name. So I just typed up what I wanted my voice to say, put it in here, added the overdub voice, extracted it, and then put it onto the video and used my voice as the voiceover for that product, uploaded to Amazon. We were good to go. So that's another way that is kind of like useful that you could use this. And another thing that's actually really helpful inside of here, they have this under the audio part, they have kind of like Adobe Audition is doing with that now, the podcast, the one-click thing. They have what's called studio sound. So I can go in there and help clean up my audio or other people's audio as well. And that will also help. And it uses AI to help clean that up. If you guys haven't seen that yet, let me tell you about it. And I did find this helpful for just some other projects that I was working on anyway. If you haven't seen it yet, podcast.adobe.com/enhance. So let me show you what that looks like, y'all. So in here, if you have an Adobe account, obviously, you use that sign in, but this is a free thing right now, as far as I know, and I've seen. You can drag in, if you have a video product, just export the audio only. You can use the MP3 file, or you can use the WAV file. You can drop it in here. It will clean it up for you and make it sound a lot better, a lot more like professional. You download the audio. You can then bring it into your project again, and then you just drop down, or mute, detach the audio and delete, whatever, however you want to do it, your audio from the project you're working on, and then you'll have a much cleaner audio as well. So I did this for a couple of videos for a client, and they're like, my voice sounds really good in this one and not in this one. I'm like, well, that's what it really sounds like. This is where I've applied some audio processing and stuff. And they're like, okay, can we do that for the rest? And I was like, yes, we can. So if you have that, it would probably behoove you to drop in the whole audio file of like the 30-minute live stream or whatever else it is, versus doing it as 15 different shorts. But just keep that in mind. This is, as far as I know, it's free right now. Again, I sign in with my Adobe account anyway, but you can drop in the audio file. I believe, let me see, do they have a time limit on this one? It might be 30-40 minutes, something like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, drop in, even if you're just then recording a voice note on your phone, something like that, and you want it to sound cleaner and better, drop it in here, export. It doesn't take that long. Export the audio file and just take that extra second and do that. So here we are with this. And like I said, it was really easy in here. I can add stickers. I can change the playback. I can, with one click of a button over here, I can change like the aspect ratio. And so then I can copy this project and do it in a new aspect ratio if he, let's say, also wanted a 16:9 wide, right? I can just recycle a lot of the work that I've already done because I've already made the cuts, I've already added the stickers, I've already added text, and I would just resize. It's kind of like the smart resizes in Canva. You just do that. So let me take a look over here and see what y'all are saying, if there's anything in the comments. Okay, I'm going to come over here and read them. But what do we think so far? It's kind of cool, right? It's kind of good stuff. Let's see. I was wondering how you did El Jefe's animated caption. Yes. Okay. Yes. We talked about that. Hey. Oh my gosh. Modern Day Tech is in the house. Well, was. I don't know if you're still here, but it's great to see you. Pixel P says, question. Was this a 16:9 wide video and you converted to 9:16? If so, did you crop the video to fit? Yes, this was a 16:9. This was a live stream that I believe was recorded in StreamYard and just downloaded, or OBS. I'm not sure, whatever. And so I don't know if you can hear. Let me see. Let me show you. Oh, let me make it bigger. So if I were to go in here and change it and change this back to a landscape, anyways, but you can see, yes, it was a 16:9. So I did this and then I would change it to portrait. And that's why I was saying, like, in certain scenes, if I wanted to make sure that something was in the middle of the frame, I can go in, do the slash and then just move the whole thing. Here, I can show you. There's the other side of it, right? And then there's the other side of it. So yes, it's still a 16:9 wide. And I kind of, for the most part, just slice down the middle and try and get what I want in the middle of the frame. So how did I copy to a new composition? So let's say, I'm going to go back to the main document here. Oh, he's working, because you guys remember it was 29 minutes. It's down to 23:32. So he's doing some stuff right now. Okay. So let's just say that this is a composition, or this is a paragraph that I think would make a great new video. I would do this and I would click this button right here that looks like duplicate to. So once you duplicate it, it'll say, do you want to add it to an existing composition? Because maybe you already did one paragraph, you want to add another, you can do that. Or I can say, I'm going to do a new composition, and I'm going to do a new composition here. Let me show you. And then it will say, it's been sent to a new composition. Would you like to open it? And it will say clip from, right? And so this is test, do not use. So you can see now this is just this particular section from that main document, and we're just talking about this. So if, like, right here, oh, it is in the center. So right here, where it looks like it goes off center, I'm going to add a little dash there. I'm going to come over here to this second one. I'm going to slide it over here so it's still in the center. So you can see
that makes a good.
It doesn't affect anything beforehand. It only affects from the slash forward. So you can see if here, and then if you were watching the video playback, you would see it move. It would look like a jump cut kind of, or just a slide over. So
tuning that makes a good
boom.
earbud.
Right. So there's that. And then if you want to see how I add the captions, since I've already hopefully looked at this transcript, I would go into the insert and the captions. And then you can see here they're a different color. They're like green and blue and stuff like that. So let me show you. If I went back to the Nora True, something like that, I do this and I right click on it. I hit copy. Come over here. What was it? If something do not use, test do not use. I'm going to go over here, click on this. Oh, paste attributes. Oh, because it was on a different scene. Oh, wait. Anyways, I would copy. I would hit paste attributes and it would do the thing where it should.
AKG N400s. So
oh, wait, there's 2 layers of text. Oh, because I took it from, it already had it in there. Okay. Well, you know what I'm saying. There you go. But yeah, it's that easy. And then if I do something like this, and then I say sound quality, or excellent sound quality, I'm going to highlight this section. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to add a sticker. The fork. Yes. Let's make them small. And then I put them here.
These offer excellent sound quality. So
and you can always go in here and click on this and change some stuff. So if you want it to loop, if you want it to play once, if you want to change the speed of it. And let's say that you have some sort of branding on here. I could actually go in here as well and do like a little croppy crop and just cut off the bottom or something and be like, I just want his face, something like that. So I can go in here and actually edit that, or I could just move him down and then see if he's in front of the text. I'm going to move him backwards. Boop, boop, doo. So there he is. He's hanging out over here, and then he should pop up on the screen.
Very well balanced, very hard.
Oh, shoot. I did it in the wrong project, didn't I? Come back. Where's my test do not use? Oh, he might be mad at me because I'm messing with stuff while he's in the middle of, like, messing with stuff, too. Oh, test do not use. Where's my test do not use? Did I move it? Anyways, you guys saw it. Y'all saw it. He's probably mad at me because I'm dibble dabbling in his thing. So that's kind of how it works, okay? But that could be how easy it is. Then I go in here if I want to, and then if I want to add in like a sound, an audio, right? I can come in here, I can browse the sound effects, and I can say metal clinks, right? And just add it and it will kind of go there. And then you can adjust the volume on the sound effect or that kind of stuff, right? So let me see what else he is saying. Yes, I did copy it to new composition. If you want them to check it without being able to change anything, you can always publish composition as private and get a link to share. Oh, yeah. But yeah, a lot of the time I want them to, they're mainly sharing with me right now, and I want them to be able to. So studio sound is great, but never use it on 100%. Always make it lower. Good tip. So Dr. Ela says, I used Adobe Podcast Enhance for my last video as I didn't connect my Sennheiser mic to my camera, and it was magic. Yeah, it's really good. So like I said, if you guys haven't seen that, the Adobe it's podcast.adobe.com/enhance. Okay. So Modern Day Tech says, I'm still here. I've been thinking about you and your content. Oh, awesome. Yay. Yeah, we're talking all about it. This is how I'm doing it. And so you guys can see this is so much more, like I was saying, like I know you guys really like Premiere and everything, but I want you guys to use this. And I was watching the girl do some stuff inside of CapCut. I was saying like, you're not animating the words, and she was doing them as sentences, plus some of them were misspelled. And I was just like, no, I want you to do this. And like, I don't know if that's maybe me being kind of a real jerk about it, but I'm like, I'm already paying for the license. I want you to use this. I want you to do the share a link, and I want you to use like the stickers and the different things to enhance. And I want you, because like in here, I can upload the client font and they can have access to it. And I can say stuff like, once we have one project that is like approved with the placement of the font, right? Always in position 900 and 300, 100 pixels wide or whatever else it is. I want you to use this as a recipe over and over and over again, and just start churning them out, because I can't have you. And this was why I was really frustrated last 2 weeks ago when I was saying like, it took 8 hours to get 2 shorts out of a couple of them. And so now yesterday I turned him loose. The one who's probably mad at me for messing with it. I turned him loose inside of here, and he like chucked out 7 at me or something at the end of the day, even though this is a new program to him. And I'm like, hey, it's pretty fast, right? It's pretty good. It's I think it's going to be a lot better. And I feel really bad because some of the clients are paying me, and it's supposed to be 2 hours a day, but I felt embarrassed giving them 2 shorts or something in that. And it was all day. It was all day, and sometimes even longer because of the back and forth with stuff. And so now with this, it's a little bit easier for me to be like, hey, yeah, they're still spending 4 or 5 hours on it, but at least you're getting more content. And so as they get up and running and faster at this, then I can give them multiple clients, and then we can, do this. And so I think this is the right move for my crew going forward. And like I said, I would be like, hey, if you are married to Premiere and you're not willing to do this, then that's fine. Find a different job. You know what I mean? Like find a person who doesn't require you to use this, because as far as I've seen, I tried it that way with the export. Let me check it. Let me give you corrections. I was spending so much of my time writing out these detailed second markers of like a misspelled word or something that I wanted changed. And now it's really kind of helped eliminate some of that for me, which is just a game changer for me. So I think this is the way that I'll be doing it going forward. Never really even thought about the fact that I could just do a publish link, a view one as well to a client, because it would kind of replace having to sign up for something like frame.io, because they would be able to play it back. They could leave a comment on it. Seems like it would pretty much be sufficient for in terms of proofing. So there's that. Okay, I cropped my video in the vertical. Oh yeah, you don't even have to. In fact, I kind of like leaving it and just, scooching it from side to side if I need to, because sometimes I'll do one of these, or whatever, and or if I hold something up and it's over here. If I've cut out vertical already, it's really hard to bring back, but if it's already there, I can just scoot it over with a new scene, right? So seems like my FCPX is no, not at all. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that this can't do, right? It doesn't do crazy plugins. It doesn't have the crazy transitions. It doesn't do a lot of stuff that Final Cut Pro can do. So this is really for the person as well. For me, in this use case, it works really well. The person who is probably trying to churn out a lot of stuff really quickly. I really needed help with the translations and spelling, because even this is going to be a better leg up for my editors overseas than what they were obviously using. And I think what they were doing for some, they were listening to it and then trying to type it up. And then they would misspell it, but they would also mishear it. And I would be like, no, this is not what they're saying. And so I think there was frustration on both sides, because they were like, well, I can't really hear what they're saying. And I'm like, why does that even matter if you're using like some sort of AI to get close enough? And I don't think they were in some instances, but I digress. So I love Descript. I know you were having some issues, remember, originally with the microphone. So I'm really glad that it's now working out for you, because I really think it's a great way to do it. And I think that for someone like myself, I am not the world's best editor. Like, I fully admit that. There are so many better editors than me, like Hayden Hillier-Smith. I just watched, by the way, if you haven't seen it, he did a video about sound design with the John Wick 4 motorcycle scene and how he's building and layering all the sounds. It was amazing, magical to watch. I would highly recommend it. It's a great, funny video. But like, he can do all these magical things. Like, I am a jump cut, don't like B-roll type of girl. And this works out great for me, because really it's like reading a document, and I can just kind of copy and paste the sections and sentences together that I want to kind of make sense. And it just does it for me. So sometimes I find myself really looking more at the Word document on the side than I am any of the stuff down at the below. And I think if that's the kind of maybe editor that you are, it can work out really, really well for you. But if you're someone who really wants to do all the crazy transitions and all that stuff, it maybe is not the best. I think it's like the video editor for people who don't really video edit is, and I don't mean it to sound like that. I think it was for businesses and people who are like, you're going to do this, it's going to be video. And they're like, well, I'm really good at PowerPoint and making slides and stuff like that. So it's for the not professional video editor, but I've been able to do some cool things with it. I love the animations. I love the caption stuff. So, do the clients need a license also? I think if it's just to view or comment, no, only for making edits. So, yeah, I think I can just send a publish link and anyone can view it, kind of like in Frame.io, and I think you can leave a comment. So Zach says, I'll give it a look. I'm basically cutting up parts of my live streams into shorts via the remix option, which is good because it links back to the video. Yeah. Cool. And for other platforms, Reels, TikTok, I can see this being the solution. Yeah, this is a really good solution, honestly. Yeah, it's so much better than, doing it in Final Cut. What I was doing actually, because I was just like, oh, I'll just do it in Final Cut Pro. I was bringing in the stuff into Final Cut Pro, creating these 1-minute clips, sending the 1-minute clips into Descript, because I was really precious about how much time in the transcription, because you only get like a certain, like I said, number per hour per month. And so I was like hoarding it. But actually now that I've just kind of let go of that, and like I tossed it in here and I start cutting up the paragraphs, for the way that my brain thinks, I think this is a better way for me to do it, honestly. And the ease of use of like throwing in a sticker or a sound effect here is not bad. It's not bad. So I saw that. If I only had time and patience to make the sounds he did. Yeah, I know, right? Hayden Hillier-Smith made me feel, not bad about myself. Sure. But like he really made me realize like I am never going to be that. But I think there's still a place for me in my type of editing, which is just abrupt and curt and like shoving it down into a concise little package. And what's interesting is working with these other video editors, I didn't realize that I had either a specific style or a specific like set of things that I really wanted at. And I feel like as I'm going through this process, I am teaching my editing brain to them because they're not necessarily editing for YouTube shorts or whatever. And so I'm trying to explain to them like how I see stuff. And it was difficult, like letting go of something and being like, are they going to be able to do this? And so for one of them, I gave him a project and I'm like, I want you to find a couple of minutes out of this and see if you can get something for me. And he did. And you know, it had a couple of little things. I'm like, let's cut it off here. Or like, this point doesn't make sense. We shouldn't say, you know, further tips and tricks when it's just a short and there's nothing else in this video. So like, just like explaining stuff to him. But it was really interesting because as you start to teach it and talk it and say like, this is why I want it this way, I feel like I am teaching them to make them be better as well, to be like making these decisions. But also it made me realize I don't have to be that precious because I handed it to him. I didn't even watch the video that he pulled it from, and I got a coherent kind of end product. And I was like, this is good. Like, ship it. Let's do it. And then for the other one who's mad at me probably for being in here, I was like, okay, so I gave him a whole bunch of headphone ones. I said, I've cut this up already. I've added captions already. I just want you to come in and add stickers, which is really, really easy, right? You just choose the right sticker. And then I was just like, well, I was the bottleneck because in the next one, I'd only done like 2 or 3, and then he was about to come on. He's like, okay, I'm ready to start work for the day. And I was like, oh, we'll start with these 2 or 3 that I have. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe you just have to give him a shot. Let him try it. And there were a couple things, you know, like maybe a couple model numbers were not correct or something wasn't correct. I would be like, oh, they're saying like this model number is 1 something blank. So we have to make sure that we say like 1 something together. And then like this word is not arrow. It's like a different spelling. So you have to go make sure every time that you see this, that we put this together correctly, right? So it was little things like that, which was a lot easier because instead of looking at the video and then giving timestamps for it, I just went into the document itself, like in here, and I just changed it. And then I said, okay, export this and upload it to the folder. So much faster. It was so much better. It was so much better. But as we're going through this, you know, then being like, wow, yesterday I was just kind of like, you did a really good job. These look really good. Like I don't really have a lot of corrections on this. And he was really happy, I'm sure, to not have to keep doing it. But like, it was great because he just sent me the project link and be like, here's the videos. I played it back in this window. If there was a grammar mistake, I changed it in the Word document. And then I said, okay, this is good, ship it. And I was just like, excuse me, what? Are we almost caught up on work right now? Like, because I told him and his brother, I was like, I am going on, I don't know if I told you, there will not be a stream next Thursday because I will be in Charleston, South Carolina. I will be in South Carolina next Thursday. Is that right? Do I come back Thursday night? Do I come back late Thursday night? Wait, is there a stream next Thursday? I can't remember. Let me see. What time do I come back? Yes, there will not be a stream because I land at like 9 p.m. Okay, so I will make it up to you all, I promise. So I was like, I'm pretty worried. Monday through Thursday of next week, I'm going to be maybe not that accessible. And that has not been the case these last couple of weeks. And I'm like, I'm nervous that I'm just going to be paying for not a lot of production. And now I'm kind of like, I think I might not have enough projects for you. So that's a whole other problem to have. So like either I have to go out and get more clients, or I'm going to start, the other option is I'm just going to start giving them some of my old live streams, see what they can chop up, and I'm going to start putting out my own stuff. So I can also, hopefully, if it were to go well, I can point to someone else and be like, look, I'm doing it too. What's really funny about this is, so as you all have seen, this is for El Jefe, who's a friend of mine. And so I creep his page, you know, his YouTube shorts and his TikToks. And I'm like, is my short the #1 short yet? Because like one of his shorts, you know, has a few thousand more than the top short so far that I've edited. At first it was like, please don't let mine be like the worst viewed on his channel. Now it's like, I'm waiting for the day that my short like overtakes and is his number one. But on TikTok, it's gonna take a while because one of his has like 500,000 views. But the one of them that I did has like 8,000 views on it. So I'm like, hey, we're getting there, but we're getting there. But yeah, so far, honestly, I have to say, now that I'm starting to get the kinks out, and I'm starting to get some of the feedback, people seem to be happy, because I'm constantly feeling like, gosh, they paid me money and they hate everything that I've done. They think that we're the slowest thing ever. They are just so unhappy that they've given me any money. And you guys know how I do. All of the stories that we tell ourselves, or I tell myself, and it turns out that right now a lot of them are like very complimentary. Like, this looks great. I could have never done this myself. I'm so happy that we partnered with you. And I'm like, oh, excuse me, what? You like us? You really like us? And it's crazy because last week I had one person, or 2 weeks ago I had one person, and I didn't know if they were going to make it, if I was going to be able to survive it and not just like be like, screw this, I'll do it myself. And knowing that I couldn't. And now here I am with 3 total people and being like, we need more work. What? We need more work. Like, is that not just insane to be like, yeah, we've got this down now. And the whole point is we're supposed to have, it was supposed to be 3 or 4 people per editor. So the thing is, if I pay one editor, I want to be able to assign them 3 people, 3 people's worth of work. And then that makes it, obviously more profitable for me. Technically, I could do 4 people, but I was thinking 3 people per editor. But yeah, crazy. It's just crazy, you guys. So yeah, it is. Now that I'm starting to get it, so there were a couple of the clients that I felt so embarrassed, and I was like, okay, let me waitlist you. Let me try and use some of your stuff as a training ground. And then I would tell them, like, so apologetically, I don't have anything yet, but like, I haven't started your time yet. Like, I will start your time later. Like, I haven't started it yet. And I try and communicate with them. And there was one now that I'm like, hey, waiting on videos. You got more videos for us? Like, we've already done all of yours. And they're like, we won't have more videos yet. And I'm like, should I pause your service? I don't know what to say, because like, I'm like, are we too efficient right now? But it's also because we don't have enough. I have 3 editors and myself. I was editing, and I don't have enough clients now to support all those editors. So now I'm just kind of like just making them work for 6 or 7 hours on one person's videos. So that person is getting all their videos done, which they're happy about, but they don't have more videos to feed me either. So it's a whole thing. So I need, more clients, or I have to start firing editors, which sounds bad. So, you might be able to help with that issue. Oh yeah? You want to be a client? Heck yeah. We'll make a whole bunch of Amazon videos for you, right? Yeah, hit me up, man. I got people twiddling their thumbs about right now. There is one other site that I want to give you, that has been helpful right now, and I want to share it with y'all. This is called convertcase.net. So if you have a font, a lot of the fonts that I'm using now that I'm finding are fonts that are meant to be capitalized, like all capital letters. But you'll find that some people have fonts that don't have all capital letters. So this is actually something where you can come in here and you can paste a bunch of text. Here, let me see if I still have that there. So here is some text that is not capitalized, but let's say he chose a font in his brand kit that is not an all capitals one. So you don't want to sit there and retype it with caps lock on. You can come here to convertcase.net, convertcase.next. So you can come in here, paste in what you want to say, and then say something like, I want an all I want an all uppercase. So then I can take this and go back into Descript or editing project or whatever else, and I can now have all capitalized text. So you could use this. It comes in handy in a lot of places, especially if someone has a very specific font that they want, right? So I want to share this with you as well. This is a helpful tool. You can just paste in what you want, and you can copy it to your clipboard and then bring it into what editing program that you want. And so now you don't have to worry about it or retype everything in with caps lock on. So if that's helpful for you, I hope it is. Don't forget about the audio cleanup, which was in the podcast.adobe.com/enhance. And then another thing that I just purchased, I haven't used it yet, but I did get Envato Elements again. I had used that before, but in there you can also get some plugins. You can get some different like templates for not only like Photoshop, but I think there's some different Mogerts and stuff if you are in Premiere. So that could be helpful for you, and to get B-roll and stuff like that. I did create, I'm trying to give you everything in case you guys want to be able to do this for yourself. I created that intake form so I can have all the clients on board with letting us know their fonts, their colors, their, all of that kind of information. Then what else do I use? I set up a new Google account with our team email. And I bought another license of Descript. So that's kind of the stuff that I've been doing so far. And it's been working. And you guys remember from, I think, the stream 2 weeks ago, I built this all on top of a Google site, which was free because I bought my Google domain through domains.google. And that was $12 for the year for contentminis.com. So yeah, this is how I'm doing it right now. Just how I'm doing it. So what questions do you guys have? Can I answer for you? I just did a fire hose of information at you that you just drank from. So let's come back over here for a second. What questions do you have? Do you have any? Let's talk. Yeah, definitely. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Any questions that you all have? Was this helpful? Please tell me this was helpful, because I'd hate to have gone on for an hour about all of this and then have you guys be like, cool story, bro. But no. My tea is way too strong now. Okay, I hope he's not too mad at me for going in there. He changed the document because it's no longer the do not use. You know what, Keely? I have not had the greatest luck with the templates. I need to look at it more closely because I know that there is a lot of good that can help with the templates, but I just haven't had time to really dive into it. But I would love to, and if you are good with it, I would love to talk to you more about it because I'd love to be able to know when I open a project under a certain folder, can I set it up where every time I open up a project inside of a specific folder for each client that it always has the same type of text, capitalization, attributes and everything. So that's what I'm trying to get to eventually is we start a new project inside the El Jefe folder. It always has the same attributes. Because right now I am just doing copy and paste attributes, at least from a different project into a new one, at least the first time. So, but I know templates are bound to help me with some of that stuff. So I'll get more efficient at it. So let's chat about that too, okay? Any other questions? I will say 2 weeks ago, I did not think things were going to work out. I didn't think I'd get to this point now where I'd be able to, last night at midnight, I was like, I think I'm ready to step away from my computer. And that has not happened in a very long time, y'all. A very long time. So even though I was still typing with, a couple of the brothers and being like, hey, let's change this. I wasn't at my computer until 2:00 in the morning, which is great. It was fantastic. And so, I'm feeling better. You love to create your own templates and descriptions. You know what? Maybe I'm going to have to watch your tutorial then because I have not had very good luck with templates. Okay. Tell me all about you and Keely. Tell me all about it so I can give it to the brothers. I did notice they're already doing more things than I am. They started adding things flying across the screen. That wasn't a sticker. I'm like, oh, look at you doing things. So I'm pleased because we're only a couple weeks in to some of this. So I am pleased and I'm thinking it's going to get better. And I think that I did see an episode of the editing podcast with Sarah Dici where she said, once you find an editor that you actually like, because it's difficult going through them as well and churning and burning, if you can find a good one, hold on to them and, give them a raise. So I had told both of them, I was like, let's do a 30-day trial. And if it works out and we want to extend, then I will give you guys a raise at that point and we'll continue to work together. So I'm hoping it's going to continue to go well. So far, it was rocky at the beginning, but it's going well and I'm happy right now. And so I'll be happy to give them a raise when the 30 days for both of them is up. So yeah. Haven't made a tutorial about that. Well, you should, so I can watch it, so I can figure out more about the templates. So, okay, I am going to jump for the night, but yeah, I hope that this was helpful so you can see you don't have to be a team obviously, to make Descript work for you. You guys saw all the different ways I was making it work for me before I ever brought in a team to use it from just my own type of stuff. So, and I know Pixelpia has a couple of tutorials, multiple tutorials now already up on her channel talking about Descript as well. So this is a good community of people if you want to learn more about it. We could definitely help you out. I've learned a thing or two. I'm still way not there yet, but we're getting there. Yeah, it's on your list. Yay! I'm glad to hear it. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Like I said, I will not be live streaming next Thursday. I will make it up to you, and we'll do something though as a makeup. And I do owe you from last week. We had the doggy hospital, we had the dance team fill in, so I'll owe 2 live streams basically. So I hope you have a great night. I hope you learned something. I hope this was helpful for y'all. On the way out, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe for more. All that, right? I don't think I could ever hire an editor. I know, man. I know. It is. And what's funny is, I'm just going to say this last point. I was very tight-fisted about someone else's video edits. I would be like, oh, you don't know El Jefe, or you don't know Alex. They trust my brain for the edits, right? I had one of the brothers take on one of the other Alex videos. Alex was like, this is great. And I'm like, oh, almost hurt. I'm like, did you not realize this is not my editing? But so I think we all get very precious about it. And I know that there are some definite creators that are like, I could never let that go. But then they do let it go. And they're like, I held on way too long. It was me that felt like that, because I remember who was Justin Brown from Primal Video, and he was talking to me. He's like, oh, I was always like, I can't let it go. It's my thing. I love it. I'm really fast at it too. No one can do it like me. And then he's like, I finally hired an editor. The first video came out, and I thought all these people were going to be like, this is different. This is not good. This is, who's this imposter? And people were like, we loved it. Favorite video. And he was like, excuse me, what? So I feel like sometimes a lot of that is us, and then we're prying our fingers off of the mouse, and the other people are like, it's fine, let it go, and we're like, no, people will know it's not me, and then they'll be like, people aren't loyal. We're like, this was great. So, but I know exactly how you feel, because before I was just like, oh no, I don't think I want anyone else to edit it. I know my tone of voice, I know. And then sometimes it's actually really good to have an outside perspective look at it, because they'll make choices that you would not have. And so it's interesting. So that's why I was like, I might like one of the brothers take my videos and chop it up and just see what happens. Just start putting them out there and see, yeah, so I think I'm going to do that. But anyways, I hope you all have a great night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you. I will see you all in a stream very, very soon, and a video soon as well. Bye, y'all.